Smart 3. Here are the details. It's 4.4 meters long, about the same size as the BYD 803 or the Zeekr X. It has a frunk, but it's only 15 liters, pretty small. Boot space, 370 liters. Not big either. Towing, it does tow. You can tow 750 kilograms unbraked. Brake towing is 1,600 kilograms. Tires, 235 wide, basically eco tires. Wheelbase, 2.785 meters. The weight, 1,780 kilograms. Battery, a 66 kilowatt hour battery pack. Usable capacity is 63 kilowatt hours, and it's a lithium, nickel, manganese, cobalt battery pack. The so-called Smart #1 and the #3, they've both been revealed. They're going to be sold in many markets, including Europe, Australia. Of course, there's China, there's places like Thailand, Malaysia. Are they any good? Well, this video, I'm just going to talk about the so-called #3, a very dubious, very strange name, #3. Anyhow, is the Smart 3, let's just call it the 3, is it a good car you should consider? Is it worth buying? Well, here's the price that we know so far, the specifications, the battery technology. In some ways, it's good. In some ways, it's a little bit disappointing. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Great to see you. Great to have you here with us. And what is going on here with Smart? Who is Smart? Who owns Smart? Well, the company is owned by both Geely and by Mercedes-Benz. Now, technically, the Smart is saying this is a German-designed EV, but not really. I mean, to be honest, the truth is Mercedes-Benz and Geely, who obviously Geely is a conglomerate that owns Volvo, Zeekr, many other car brands, they created this joint venture all the way back in 2019. It was at this point that Geely were just buying new car brands. I mean, pretty smart move if you ask me. They obviously bought Lotus, that was a smart move, and they bought the Smart brand, which was defunct. The Smart brand was basically dead. It was doing almost nothing. Of course, Smart used to be a brand that you made really, really small cars that don't need more. These cars are certainly not small. Anyhow, what happened? Well, apparently Geely put in $830 million into a joint venture where basically they were buying the brand, to be honest. The joint venture, officially named Smart Automobile Company Limited, was formally established by Mercedes-Benz and Geely in January 2020. But the vehicles, of course, are all manufactured in China. Apparently, they're designed by Mercedes-Benz, whatever that means. In July 2020, Smart Europe GmbH was established to handle all sales, marketing, and after-sales activities. What models do they have? Well, technically, they have the Smart 1, the Smart 3, and they'll actually soon have the Smart 5, which is a similar size to a Tesla Model Y. This car here, the Smart 3, is significantly smaller than a Model Y. It's a similar size to a Zeekr X or a BYD Atto 3. Now, just want to put it out there, obviously Smart believe that they are a premium car brand. They don't believe that they are a real competitor with BYD, even though they really are. They are competing with BYD, they just don't think that they are. So it's worth keeping that in mind when you actually see the prices for these cars. Speaking of prices, the cheapest version in Australia is 55,000 Australian dollars. So what's that, around 35,000 US dollars? Meaning it's basically the same price as a Tesla Model Y or a standard range Xpeng G6. So it is more expensive than its rivals. And the reason is because, while Smart believes that they're more premium, that is debatable because the technology in this vehicle is not really more premium. The luxury, the features in terms of the interior quality, that is very possible. But technology-wise, it's definitely not ahead of Xpeng or of Tesla. It's worth keeping that in mind. So what is the pricing? Well, pricing for the Pro Plus, which is the cheapest version, is $58,000. Pretty similar price to an Xpeng G6 long range or to a Tesla Model Y standard range. Premium is $62,000. That's the same vehicle, but with a bit more power in the single motor. And it gets a few extra luxury features. Then you've got the Brabus, which is, of course, all-wheel drive. That's $71,000, and it'll do 0 to 100 in 3.7 seconds. But It's a very similar car to the Zeekr X all-wheel drive, which has the same exact motors, and it's not calling itself Brabus. It's just the same motors, a very, very similar car, but I think better looking. Personally, I think the Zeekr X is a much more cohesive looking car. I actually find smart vehicles to be a bit weird looking. I'm not really sure what the appeal is. I think a lot of people find them a bit odd looking, a bit strange looking. But anyhow, all of that aside, what's the battery? Well, it's a 66 kilowatt hour ternary battery. So I believe it's a lithium battery, not a lithium iron phosphate battery. It's not Geely's new blade battery, their Aegis short blade battery, or some people call it the golden brick battery, which has 192 watt hours per kilogram of energy density and the capability to fast charge at 600 watt hours at 600 kilowatts. So it's unfortunately not that battery. But range, what is the range? Well, the range appears to be 440 kilometers, about the same as the Zeekr X, which would make sense considering it appears to be the same battery as the Zeekr X. So not lithium iron phosphate. I believe it's an NCM nickel cobalt manganese chemistry. Particularly high energy density, is it? No, it's not really, to be honest. I mean, 440 kilometers of range from a battery pack that is a 66 kilowatt size in a car this size. It's not bad, but it's not industry leading. But anyway, that gives you an idea of the range, 440 kilometers. Now, if you get the all-wheel drive version, the range falls down, it drops to 400 kilometers. So yeah, that's where the kind of the value equation, in my opinion, doesn't quite stack up, because that's about the price of a Tesla Model 3 long range, not too far away from the price of a Tesla Model 3 performance. Obviously, BYD Seal is cheaper than that. The performance version of the Seal, is it really great value? Yeah, to be honest, I don't really see how any of these three models are particularly compelling cars. I honestly think that these cars will get revealed in various countries, and they'll probably drop the price a little bit after they find that they don't sell that well. But who knows? Now, what do you get as standard specification? Well, the cheapest version of the Smart #3, the Smart 3, gets a 12.8 inch center touchscreen. It's a bit smaller than some of the rivals. A 9.2 inch driver instrument cluster, 19 inch alloy wheels, 6-way adjustable driver and front passenger seats, panoramic roof, advanced intelligent drive modes, ambient lighting, an PU steering wheel, which doesn't really mean anything, 5-speaker sound system. To be honest, doesn't sound very luxury, a 5-speaker sound system, LED headlights, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and a power tailgate. Now, as you can see, those standard specifications in a car costing this much. So in fact, it's slightly more expensive than a Model Y and slightly more expensive than an Xpeng G6 standard range. To me, those specifications at that price don't make this a compelling vehicle. I really don't see any reason whatsoever to buy it unless you really love the brand and you just want an EV and this style appeals to you. Then I would understand it, but otherwise it doesn't really stack up. Premium version of this vehicle gets a 10-inch heads-up display in addition to what I mentioned, all those other features. It also gets a Beats sound system, so probably a much better sound system. Improved AC charging, so AC charging speed, I believe, is 11 kilowatt. Matrix LED headlights and leather upholstery. So for a few $1,000s more, I think that car's much more compelling. Those extra features appear to be worth the extra money you're paying. I mean, it's realistically actually only $4,000 more for those features. I don't think they'll sell the base model. If they do, I'd be really surprised anyone buys any, considering it's only $4,000 for a 10-inch heads-up display, a Beats sound system, faster AC charging, Matrix LED headlights, and leather upholstery. It seems like that's actually not a bad option. The Brabus model, obviously you get an extra motor, you get a whole lot more power. Same battery pack though. Sports exterior body styling. Brabus drive mode, not even sure what that means. Red brake calipers, so they'll paint them red for you, and hopefully they're bigger brakes. If they're not bigger brakes, then that would be kind of crazy considering how much more power this car has. But it does not mention anything about better brakes, it just says it's got red brake calipers. Microfiber suede upholstery, I'd prefer the leather personally, and an Alcantara steering wheel. What about safety? Okay, safety technology gets autonomous emergency braking, automatic park assist, 360-degree camera, door open warning, traffic jam assist, emergency lane keep assist, blind spot detection, adaptive high beam, driver and passenger front airbags. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, the technology in this vehicle, it's surprising considering Geely have some actually pretty damn impressive technology, battery technology. They have 800 volt platforms. They have some of the, to be honest, I mean, look at the technology in some of Zeekr's cars, which is just mind blowing. Why don't they have that in these smart vehicles? Well, I'm not really sure. But we do know the Smart 5, which is the bigger version of this car, which is the same size as a Tesla Model Y and the X-Plane G6. We know that actually does get an 800 volt architecture, extremely fast charging. I mean, we're looking at literally 10 to 80% in 15 minutes. So that's getting, I believe, 500 kilowatt fast charging. So the really impressive technology, a 25.6 inch heads up display, 800 volt architecture, all that stuff, that technology appears to be going into the Smart 5, but not to the Smart 3 or the Smart 1. At this point in time, like I said, I can't see the appeal with this car. But who knows, that could change. When they launch it, they may reveal some surprising features. They may change the battery. If they use the short blade Aegis battery, the LFP battery from Geely, and they were able to provide the fast charging that battery is capable of, it's capable of 600 kilowatt charging. If they were to use that, just that change would make this a car you should definitely look at. But at this point in time, I'd say give it a miss.